On September 22nd, 2021, a group of people joined a voice channel in the official Wretched Team Discord server to collectively play a Doki Literature Club mod by the name of AndriuxDev. The mod appeared to be just another low-quality shitpost they could poke fun at and joke about, and by the end of the mod they'd done exactly that. Nothing appeared strange until the final moments of it. A password to a zip file in the mod, once typed in, will lead them to an alarming discovery involving two possible murders, both being the creator's parents. And that was just the beginning. So I'm just gonna go at this without trying to be over dramatic, and I'll start from the background, working my way up to the day it all went down. Wretched Team is a group of Doki Literature Club modders who are best known for making mods that are better than the original game. And if you don't know what Doki Literature Club is, it's basically just if you took an anime girl visual novel and made it a psychological horror game. Coming out in 2017, it still has a fairly prevalent community, including modders of course, and as someone who enjoys good writing and a good story, I eventually ended up joining Wretched Team's Discord server. Since then I've just become someone who talks on it every day, and occasionally when a new mod comes out, people will join a voice channel to watch it together. And on Wednesday, September 22nd, at approximately 10:30 AM, we did just that, for a new mod that had been released by the name of AndriuxDev. Now, to tell you exactly how the mod was would be very hard to explain, so I'll show you a clip that I think encapsulates it as a whole pretty well. Yeah, it's not really that great. But that alone couldn't come close to showing you the sheer genius of this mod. So I'm just going to try to quickly sum up what the mod was like so you can get a good feel of what we experienced while playing through it. The mod starts off as just Doki Literature Club. And by that I mean he just took the game and made extremely minor changes to it, one of which happens to be an annoying ass red filter that he put over the entire game, which makes getting footage a real blast. But the mod progresses and the plot is it's just normal Doki Literature Club with nods to an unknown character being somewhere. And the creator lets the base game persist for almost 3 hours straight. Yeah. But it eventually switches gears at the time Sayori would normally hang herself. As MC enters the room, Sayori isn't hanging and is very much alive. She talks to MC about how he saved her, and this is the first time that we see the creator AndriuxDev writing his own dialogue for the mod. And you can tell. You see, anytime Andriux isn't stealing dialogue from the base game or other sources, it is extremely noticeable. Even when he does steal writing from something, the moment he adds his own input to it, it becomes awful. And that may sound harsh considering the fact that he's not from an English-speaking country, but things that will be brought up later will make you understand why I would choose to phrase it like that. Anyway, after Sayori thanks MC for saving her life, she brings up something about seeing a teenage boy go by. She describes him by saying, "He looks white like us, has brown hair like Monica's, and believe it or not, he has a personality that is a mashup of all four of us." MC asks what his name is, and Sayori stutters until MC cuts in asking if it's Andriux. The conversation continues, and Sayori says, "If you see him, tell him that I'll be there for him. He has depression like me." Now, I could go on and on about the writing, but for now, I'm just going to continue explaining the mod. From there, it just becomes a fever dream of, oh, Andriux this, Andriux that, oh, normal game this, normal game that. It's just flat out really bad, and I could explain everything from the base mod, but we would be here for over 45 minutes. So to summarize the end of the base mod, in-game Andriux almost deletes all of the characters and practically takes over the entire game. Him and MC have an exchange at the end where Andriux just ripped Bill dialogue from Gravity Falls and used it horribly. Afterwards, you're taken back to the main menu where you're presented with the choice of playing through a so-called extra story, which starts off by explaining that it has been 2 weeks since the quote-unquote autistic takeover. And if that seems like quite the beginning, you're pretty in for it. As we progress, more Bill Cipher dialogue is stolen and used by Andriux, and he even goes as far as to make the first encounter between him and MC exactly like Bill and Gideon's first encounter in the show. But instead of stealing a deer's teeth for fun, Andriux instead opens the game's console and allows access to pornographic images of Sayori, afterwards saying, "Dear unholy pictures of Sayori, just for you, kid." Which is something. But moving on, he continues stealing dialogue until MC suggests going to the club. Now, it would be completely pointless to describe every interaction from here on out, so to summarize it extremely quickly would just be Andriux all of the girls one by one and somehow gets away with still hanging out with them due to how poor the plot is. After every kill, he writes in a diary about it. I bring that up because it'll be important later. But moving on, Andriux kills 3 of the girls until his in-game parents find out and show barely any emotion towards it other than slight disappointment. He pretends to be apologetic but ends up killing Monica in a very graphic scene. After killing all of the girls, it's just Andriux and MC left. And for some reason, Andriux decides to go on a sort of date with MC where he brings diapers and babyish stuff. I don't know, man. On their date, MC convinces Andriux to revert the world back to the way it was, and they all lived happily ever after. Yeah, that's how it ends. A happy little ending. Up to this point, us who were watching the mod in VC were just joking about it. I mean, we obviously didn't take it seriously and thought it was just another pretentious DDLC modder that was biting off a bit more than they could chew. I mean, I still don't take it seriously. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, how does this even get so bad? I mean, it's just a Doki Doki Literature Club mod, right? Well, after the mod is done, credits roll and everything else, you're presented with a password to a zip file in the mod's game folder. The file is called a secret_diary. Opening it, you're presented with a diary for each of the in-game characters, including Andriux. Now, what could be in these TXT files that caused everyone in the call to be speechless and ended up in the creation of this video? Well, let's just open the first one and see. What you just saw over the contents of interest inside of the diary.txt files. One of which consisted of Andriux asking the player for assistance in murdering his parents. I'll read out all of the entries so you can fully grasp everything they entail though. Starting off with the Natsuki and Sayori diaries. I ought to say, you're quite a jerk. But a good kind of jerk. You're not only a hero, but also a god. That blue kid is going to out-trap him, I assume. Good luck or whatever. Dash Natsuki. PD, bake something for me. Baka. So, this was written by Andriux himself, and it really shows his writing capabilities in all their glory. There's not much else to say other than that it's just some cringy shit. So, I'll move on to the Sayori diary, which is practically the same. That Andriux is just a meanie, but I thank you for saving me. Don't you worry about me, I'm going to be okay. Just help boyfriend in deleting that nasty meanie. I beg of you. I wish you luck, my sunshine. With a lot of happiness, Sayori. This one actually has a bit more value to it because AndriuxDev has taken more of a liking to Sayori of the four girls. I bring this up now because we'll see more of it later, and I just find it odd that he would make Sayori, the one he likes the most, say these things about him. But hey. Who am I to kink shame? Now, we're gonna move on to the Monica diary, which gets a bit more interesting, I guess you could say. I want to thank you for playing Doki Doki Literature Club and Andriux After Story to the very end. It was a trip full of despair, drama, violence, and of course, hopelessness. No matter if you played it as a speedrun or if you completed the whole game to 100%, there is just one thing to destroy. Remember AndriuxDev? You may or may not have heard of him, but hear me out and make me a favor. Go to his channel and insult him at all cost. He's not worthy of our love, not even yours. If you have what it takes to get us out of his games, it'd be gratifying for all of us. I hope you reach out for this call of help, but in the meantime, why not helping boyfriend destroy that insipid autistic bitch? I hope you can make him suffer no matter the consequences of said actions. Do it for us. We'll be more than proud to hear the aftermath. With love, Monica. And of course, there's a fucking tilde at the end of that. Now, with Monica's diary, we see much of the same as the other two diaries, except the lengths Andriux goes for her to truly insult him is a lot more. Andriux writes Monica so that she calls out to the player to actually go to his YouTube channel and insult him at all costs. That, along with the use of insipid autistic bitch, really shows some stuff. Anyway, we'll now move on to the Andriux and Yuri diaries, which are the most, they're the most interesting of all of them. I mean, they're practically the reason why I'm speaking to you right now. So let's see exactly what is in them, starting with Andriux. I don't recognize the person in this game. Who is that? No way, I think I know this person. He seems so recognizable yet so unfamiliar. I feel as if I've never seen this stranger before, but I already know so much about them. I know their deepest secrets hidden underneath that unfamiliarly unrecognizable face. I know about the stress that weighs them down like 10-ton chains on their arms and legs. I know about the intense regret that eats away at them every day. I know ... I know who this person is ... It's me ... Hey, thank you. Just make me a favor, a big favor. Help me. Help me in killing my parents. I don't want them in my life anymore. They always treat me like if I was a child. Help me for the love of God. It's the only way I can truly be happy in this world. Don't listen to the other people telling you that what you're doing is wrong. Just help me, okay? No regrets in such a murderous task like this. I hope you have found what it takes for such atrocious help. Signed, Andriux. Yep, there it is in all of its glory, where Andriux asks you to make him a favor and kill his parents for him. There's a lot of other pretentious teenage type stuff near the beginning, but what really matters is that last paragraph. And you might be asking yourself, but wait, isn't that just in-game Andriux saying that? Which is an extremely valid point to bring up, but it can be shown to be false with some quick research and conclusion making. You see, Andriux made this mod with himself as the villain and the quote-unquote in-game Andriux, but what I failed to mention up to this point is that they're the same fucking person. Now, I'm going to try to explain this as clearly and concise as possible, so bear with me. You have in-game Andriux, who has all the same personality characteristics, interests, and kinks of real-life Andriux. The only thing that separates the two is that one is in-game and has killed fictional characters. Another thing that instantly removes the excuse of them being two different people is AndriuxDev's Twitter, which in and of itself is a fucking nightmare, but months before the mod was released, Andriux tweeted something out that I will now read. Got no more diapers. I'll kill my parents due to that. Either way, here's a glimpse of what I'll be making of my new 3D model. May need to change the briefs to diapers to make him look cuter. Which, knowing that this was put out before the mod even happened is pretty, it's not a good look. And what makes it worse is the next diary entry, which I will now read. I heard about the changes he made to this game. It just baffles me to see a hero that was once a great legend turned to a never-ending villain. If he ends up getting deleted and killing his parents afterwards, it'd be not only sad, but also disastrous. Don't make him go under such a hard path. Help him out, okay? That's my only favor for you. I hope you can kill him with a knife so I can smell his blood. Yours truly, Yuri. PD, I got this coordinates from someone I know. Don't tell anyone. Now, a fair portion of this entry is just the usual pretentious and poorly written stuff we're used to. But what makes this one so much more appalling is that tiny last bit. He includes coordinates to an actual location. When all of us in the voice channel saw this, we obviously looked them up to see where they led. A random house in a city that I've never heard of in Mexico. At first, this can be dismissed as, it's just coordinates to a random place in some Mexican city. And that's all it would be if it weren't for AndriuxDev's Twitter profile once again. When you look in the bio, you can see this. Cordoba, Veracruz is what it said for his location. Now, surely the coordinates don't lead to that city, right? Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Now, it can't be fully assumed that this dude actually doxed himself, but it's not unreasonable to come to that conclusion. So let's go down a list of what we have so far. We have asking for help and killing his parents, possibly leaking his own address, asking people to go to his YouTube channel to insult him, diaper fetish, proof that he might actually one hit. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that our friend AndriuxDev over here is in diapers, and the worst part of it is that it plays a pretty big role in all of this.
It's the fact I don't think he changes them that gets me a bit of diapers.
Okay, why do you not think that?
Because in the mod, when he's talking about him getting changed, he puts on the same pair again.
Oh, fuck.
And the mod him is very much real him. So I don't think he changes underwear.
This has to be a joke.
It's not,
Right?
it's not a
Like, it's too crazy.
You see, there was a line of dialogue in the mod that I read out that said, I brought my backpack just in case. Ehehehe. I take a peek inside Andriux's backpack. ... It's packed with some babyish stuff, like diapers, blankets, and clothes. The reason that I didn't include this was because 1, I wanted to make the mod summary as fast as I could, and 2, there's a hell of a lot of other stuff I can show to prove he likes diapers. And by this, I mean almost every last bit of his online presence always links back to fucking diapers. His Twitter bio reads as, diapers are my most beloved thing. YouTube reviewer and composer, FNF vs. Andriux mods creator, ABDL/TBDL artist and role player, in brackets, 16 plus content. He has an entire DeviantArt that is dedicated to drawings of people and characters in diapers, which we will take a look at later. He's got a Patreon that mostly consists of even more diaper art. His YouTube videos will occasionally have diapers in them. I mean, one of his YouTube videos literally has pornographic images of a character in them. One of these pictures includes a diaper. Oh yeah, and also the character has the mindset of a 12-year-old. Said video is titled, What is the Sky Mod Controversy? Which starts off with this.
Just a fair warning before we actually start the video, I don't have any sponsor for this video. I don't actually like my life so far. So, a bit of a context right here, I actually was on Mommy Cloud Audio's Discord server. I lied about my age and saying that I was supposedly 18 years old, but later I thought, okay, Mommy Cloud accepted me, so there won't be any problem. Sadly though, I was banned. And, well, the whole post on Twitter, and I'm disconnecting myself from the internet. Yeah, I'm a motherfucker who's being a fucking failure for the rest of my life. Yeah, that's what I am. So, if you guys don't like this video, consider unsubscribing and not hitting the bell, as well as disliking this video. With that said, let's go with the video.
Conclude what you will about that. But anyway, the majority of the video is just Andriux talking about how bad Rule 34 and porn of certain characters/people are. He includes some animation YouTubers on this list, as well as Sky herself. Yet, Andriux puts actual pornographic images of these characters into the video, and some of these images, of course, have diapers in them. He goes on to talk about very uncomfortable things about himself while more porn plasters the screen. In the context that Andriux is under 18 during the making and publishment of this video, it's really just a massive fucking train wreck. But his online presence wasn't always as tainted. Early videos on his channel show us that he used to just admire animation channels and seemed to want to be one himself. Somehow, we got from there to where we are now. DeviantArt drawings of characters in diapers. Jesus Christ. Speaking of which, his DeviantArt is probably one of the worst parts of all of this. So, let's take a look, shall we? Andriux's DeviantArt profile mostly consists of said drawings, whether that means NSFW or not. I'm not going to show you because why the hell would I? So instead I'll just read a caption from one of his works. Andriux was at Senpai's school, not only to put him in diapers, but also to give him a hot yet cute letter. Dear Senpai, I have a big confession. Forgive this pouring of my heart. I cherish Tokyo High School, where we first met. The moment I clapped eyes on you, I knew The moment I clapped eyes on you, I knew you were going to be my bright sweetheart. Recently I have began to regard you as much more than just an empathic friend. The fuck? Recently, I have began to regard you as much more than just an empathic friend. Okay, restart. Recently, I have begun to regard you as much more than just an empathic friend. My feelings for you have intensified when I saw you cooing in the stargazing moonlight. I was further wowed by your tremendous diaper-loving hobbies. You have diapers like shining crystals and the most entertaining smile I've ever seen. When I look at you, I just want to hump those soft, cute, and crinkly diapers and draw that entertaining yet adorable smile. You're so special with your stunning ways of flirting. The way you show your sexy diapers towards me shows great empathy and kindness. I know that to you, I'm just a little prince in distress, but I think we could be happy together, humping like two adorable babies. Please say you'll be mine, senpai. All my love, Andriux. As he was reading the letter, Monica just smelt the cute yet padded love in the air. Is senpai going to be with Andriux forever, or is reality going to give him a round of bad luck? Is Monica a second choice for Andriux? I cannot believe keep in mind, Andriux was almost 18 years of age when he wrote that, meaning he's fantasizing about humping like two adorable babies when he's almost legally an adult. Now, I'm not going to call the guy but that's extremely alarming. Also, this obviously isn't all of the art he has on DeviantArt. There are hundreds of other artworks, and he still uploads more to this day. So soon enough, it won't be excusable. And now that we're on the topic of Andriux himself, here's a detail I should tell you. Andriux has Asperger's. Now, you may be thinking that I've sat down and made fun of someone with a mental illness for all this time, which is reasonable to assume, but in reality, it's very far from that. I'm not going to act like some expert on Asperger's, but from what I've seen, it does not entirely excuse him from what exactly he has going on the internet. For this reason, though, I cannot stress enough, do not go after him whatsoever. It's easy to think that this is some kind of expose video, but its only intended purpose is to present a situation and its history and let you, the viewer, interpret it in any way you desire. I may have seemed a little harsh at times, but that is just what I think, and you are obviously free to move away from that train of thought at any time. I really encourage you to do a little bit of your own research on this if you actually want to know all the details and just kind of get a better view of everything. While I've shown as much as I can fit into a somewhat digestible format, there are traces of this dude that lead back to 2017, so there's a ton of stuff that I left out that I may include in a separate video, but we'll have to see. Now, we've seen a lot of shit today, from a DDLC mod that put a hit on the creator's parents, to learning about said creator's fetishes and reading his disgusting posts on the internet. And here I am, just happy that I'm done with it. The reason I called part 2, They Always Treat Me Like If I Was a Child, is because the amount of sheer irony this all has. I mean, he explains in the Andriux diary that he wants to murder his parents for treating him like a child, yet he's the one that's obsessed with diapers at such a late age. Along with that, there just seems to be irony everywhere you look. From the Sky Mod video to this video that you're watching right now. Here I am talking about how gross this one person on the internet is, yet I know that there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people in the world that are exactly like this. I mean, since the making of this video, there have been groomer accusations in the same community that Andriux is from. Along with that, Andriux has made a Friday Night Funkin' mod that continues where Andriux After Story left off. And here we are giving them all the attention these kinds of people could ever ask for. I spent months making a video about some loser on the internet in hopes of shedding more light on everything, but I know I could do this for many, many more months and barely even scratch the surface of people like this. And when you think about it like that, it's hard not to ask yourself, so who's the real loser?